When do you know that AI really made it? So it's already doing such incredible things, and unfortunately causing people to lose their jobs, etc. But I think we know that AI really made it when it creates a counter reality which you can't tell anymore. Everybody remembers as people were playing around with it and they're sending pictures, and then can you tell, can you not tell? And you could still, and often you can still tell, right? But sometimes you can't tell. And we're all wondering sometimes, is that real or is it AI? And I don't know what law enforcement are going to be doing, and because you really have to know. I mean, someone can make up anything today. So AI has already hit a very, very high level. And I think, but then once it creates a counter reality, then it's really, quote unquote, made it. So I want to share now a aspect to the great Chachma of the Yetzer Hara, give me Yasher Koyach. And we've been saying that he's an Ish Mechama U'Meluma Bar Mimus. He is so bright, he is so smart. And his Ra and his Armoso, etc. We're going to see other ideas coming up, but one thing we see clearly here is the great wisdom of the Yetzer Hara. And I wanted to just share, just like we said that AI's made it because it created counter reality. That's really it. And when I can't even tell, that's really what the Yetzer Hara does. Let's think about it. There's a real perspective on the world. Om Haba, Torah mitzvahs, Av Yisrael, goodness, seeing more to life, seeing meaning, looking at this world as a place to accomplish something, not to get stuck in, looking at my relationships as things that are contributing to an overall good, connection to the Bari Olam, the true beauty of the world, the true beauty which doesn't distract me, take me to a place I don't want to be. And then there's the counter reality, wealth la'atzmo, just get a lot of money. Why? Yeah, just get it. You want money. Taivas, beauty for itself. Shekar chen v'yopi, beauty for itself. Taivas, desires, when we're involved in them, they're so real at Shas Ma'is, and they seem so much like it's what I have to go to that restaurant. I mean, I have to try this new Mexican food, Mexican kosher. My guys were telling me today you can get cheeseburgers in all the restaurants now, kosher cheeseburgers. You have to get that. I have to try that. One in my whole life, what is a cheeseburger down? Now you have plant-based cheeseburgers. I don't know if it's a problem or a sign. I'm not getting into the kashrut of it. They told me some good hechsher was given hechsher, but I'm not getting into that. And I just was not aware. I'm behind the times a little bit. I apologize, right? But taiva, that's, one of the anafim of the Yetzer Hara, one of the branches of the Yetzer Hara. It's so real. At Shas Ma'is, it's so real. I have to do this thing. It's going to fulfill me. It's going to make me happy. It's going to give me life. And then you have to realize after it's so fake. Right? This third bowl of cholent is all I need. And then afterwards, I just feel full. And I'm thinking about the after effects. And I'm going to be dizzy Motzi Shabbos. B'Shas Ma'isa, that new car, that new vacation, that renovation, the absolute necessary additions for the bar mitzvah. I mean, what's going to be if we don't have the violin at the bar mitzvah? It's just little Jaime is going to be so sad. No, the bar mitzvah is really a trickier one, because sometimes, of course, there are necessities for a bar mitzvah, and I'm not putting them down, and etc. But bigadol, what we see here is the Yetzer Hara did an enormously good job in creating counter reality. And I think that's really, if you think about it, that's what I think the mashal, the picture we gave at the beginning of AI, is that's a real sign of accomplishment. When I create a counter reality, which you can't tell anymore, by the way, this is not me, it's AI, but when you create a counter reality that people can't tell the difference between real and fake anymore, you've really done something. So the Yetzer Hara did that, but he didn't do it in 2026 and 2005. He's been doing that for 3,000 years, 4,000 years, 5,057, right? Tavshin Pei Vav years. He's been doing for Tavshin Pei Vav years, Tavshin Pei Hey years, creating a counter reality to real reality that people get stuck in. And you think how deeply certain people get stuck. Someone who lives his life in video games, someone lives his life in entertainment, someone lives their life without real friendships, without deep relationships, with always being in a safe position, always with their armor on, whatever. It's a counter reality. There's a real reality out there, but then there's this ability to live in counter reality, and I thought that really says it right, because AI is something that's so much on our minds. But if we realize that the Yetzer Hara has been doing it for such a long time, so what can we say? Yasher Koach, Yetzer Hara, you're awesome. Yeah. Okay, now that was just a little time back to things we've dealt with already in the Perek. Now I want to continue. Right, so at the end of the day, when we take all these things into account, and we know that Zahirus is that a person has to be Nizar R'maisa Minyanov. Again, we spent a lot of time dealing with the Yetzer Hara. We're going to deal with them again, but just remember that what Zahirus is being careful about your actions. Is it good? Is it bad what I'm doing? Not to leave myself sakanas avodon, etc. When the Navi screams, cries out, Simu levavchem al darchechem. Place your heart on your ways. Think about what you're doing. Analyze. Go into it. How you davening, how you learning, how you chesed, how you speaking to your wife, how you speaking to your husband, how you speaking to your children, how you dealing with your grandchildren, all aspects of our lives. Is this the job you want? Is this the job that you're most putting ahead, the correct things that you have to bring to the world within the boundaries you have? Wow. Don't give, I know for me this is a big musser now, because a lot of times for me when I do a cheshbon, it's like the last thing. If all the situations are perfect, and I've gone taking care of my family responsibilities, my yeshiva responsibilities, my learning responsibilities, my writing responsibilities, and I'm not too tired, and I had 3 coffees, and now I feel good, now you can do a cheshbon nefesh. That's not the vision that Shlomo Melech said, Schoonmaker. Al titin sheina leinecha. Don't give sleep to your eyes, or rest to your eyelids. Hinatzel ka'ari miyad. Run like a deer, quickly. Ukitzvi zipor miyad yakush. Chachamim zichron levracha amru kol hasam or chasav b'olam hazeh. And this is really nice, because we've been talking all the time about the negative. What's the good? What's the upside? Someone who's samar chasav. Someone who's samar chasav in this world, zachav ro b'shos el shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No less than that. You'll see Yeshuas Hashem. You'll see the Yeshua of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Upashadhu. Okay, now, Mesilas Yesharim in his final basic idea, final paragraph of the Perek. Let's see. Pashadhu. It's self-evident. Shafilin pikach adam alatzmo ein b'kocho linatzel ilule HaKadosh Baruch Hu ozro. Wow. Well, sobering. So a person takes the whole message of the Perek and says, you know what, I'm going to be someone, a daily cheshbon nefesh, maybe a weekly cheshbon nefesh, maybe a monthly cheshbon nefesh, right? But, and generally I should add a general mindset of mindfulness about my actions, right? Not just the taking, we'll learn more about that in the next Perek, but not just taking time out, the valuation, but being aware, right? I think it starts, and so obviously obvious that someone is walking around the world with his eyes open to himself and learning from himself and seeing himself and reflecting on his actions, etc. Right? Now, even a person does that. He's mefakech on himself. He's watching himself. Ein b'kochi, you can't be saved. It's, this is a line that people know, I think, because of Gemara and Kedushin, but it's shocking when you read about it. Oh, so it means it is in my koach to save myself. No. Still not. Ein b'koch linatzel ilul HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He still needs Yad D'Shmaya, and a serious Yad D'Shmaya, not just a little help. You need that. You won't be saved. You can't really win without Hashem. Why? Why not? Here he comes. Ki Yetzer Hara takif ma'od. Yetzer Hara is takif. He's very, very strong. Right? The kof means to attack. He's attacking and strong. Right? Because of Tzofa Rashi L'Tzadik. the Russia, the Yitzhar in this context, looks at the tzaddik, Mavakesh Lamid wants to destroy him. Hashem liyozvenu biyado, but Hashem liyozvenu biyado. Incredible. It's really an incredible line. Now Rabbi say, so we add this to our knowledge about the Yitzhar now. Let's put it down. Not only is he so smart, and not only is he added all the time, etc., and I need hashkaf of chachma and cheshkaf, but he's also takif. You have to have, it's a takif, the word we use in Hebrew, is a takif about a person. It's a very big takif, like it's a very strong deist, powerful person. So you have people who are very smart and not powerful. You have people who are very powerful and not so smart. But then you have this person who's like very smart and very powerful and at it all the time. Very, very hard to beat him. He's takif. So another thing, for all those, one thing that I emphasize so much in this Perek, even at the beginning of this session, is the idea of getting in touch with the fact that Yitzhar is an enemy, and it's this koach, this Achilles heel that can destroy us. And here you see another aspect of it, because it's very takif, and he wants to destroy us. Now, but here's the idea: if a person does his job, then he gets Yad Tishmaya. You can be saved. A person can be saved. A person can get to the state where he doesn't do Averis, and he needs so many Yitzhar, and the Yitzhar is on the tzad, under control, in check, etc. You put in your effort, Kadosh Baruch Hu will put in your effort, you're good. But a person doesn't put in the effort, Vaday Kadosh Baruch Hu lifakech alav. Kadosh Baruch Hu is not going to save you. You have to put in your effort. Kim hueinu chas miyachus alav. If you don't have a mercy on yourself, so to speak, if you're not worried about yourself, you're not concerned with yourself, why should Kadosh Baruch Hu be concerned with you? Someone who doesn't have deya, it's usher, incredible chazal. Gemara in Brachos, we'll say you can't avoid this one, right? You learn Daf Yomi for 5 weeks, you get into it almost after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, okay. Kol mi she'ein bo deya, it's on Lamed Gimel, Amud Aleph in Brachos, it's the 32nd daf. So after a month of Daf Yomi plus a little, you're going to get to this one. Mishain Bodea Asur L'Rachimov. Whoa, you're not supposed to have Rachmanas on him. Ushamra Mashamru. Imena Nili. Nili, if I'm not for me, Mili, meaning, but not just me, my friends. Kadosh Baruch Hu is not going to be for me. Imena Mili, I can't turn to Kadosh Baruch Hu and ask for his help. So it's incredible that someone who, it seems to be, I saw this in the notes of someone named Rabbi Shmuel Zvir that brought down for someone named Moshe Tsurio, brought a shir for Moshe Zvir. It seems like that someone doesn't do cheshbon nefesh is begeder someone who doesn't have das, and it makes sense what we said because that's what he said in the whole Perek. We have das, and we have to follow ourselves and watch ourselves and so on. Now, Rabosai, I don't know what I should call them. Schoonmaker Kulas. First, I want to tell everybody an example of what I think besides. Mesilas Yesharim is saying Ein Bodea. You're not doing cheshbon nefesh. I want to share another idea about Ein Bodea. When I felt it one time, I read a book once called Into Thin Air, something like that. It was about a Everest expedition, a pretty famous book by someone named John Krakauer, and there was a terrible storm on Mount Everest, and many people died, and this journalist who is on a journalistic trip to write about just going up and down Mount Everest was part of this, and as opposed to having an article, he wrote a whole book about it. And he wrote about how sad it was. This one died. I remember it was a certain Chinese woman that passed away. And this one, and I remember thinking to myself, these people are putting themselves in such a terribly dangerous situation, terribly dangerous. And I learned a lot of things about mountain climbing in that book and other books of his. So I haven't gone since then because it's really dangerous. I mean, I think he said that 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 8 people who summited died. That's incredible. It means if you're playing to win, there's a 12% chance you're not going to come off the mountain. I mean, literally, there are people who are sitting dead in Mount Everest. You can see them sometimes on your way up. They're just there, dead, frozen. So and I think so. Am I really supposed to feel so bad for him once he gets stuck? That's something that in Bodea, someone jumps out of a plane with one of these suits on, trying to run into some styrofoam 3 miles away, and then he misses, and that could be a waste of the feeling. It's very interesting. This Chazal needs more work because we would have an attitude, have Rachmanas on every Kadosh Baruch Hu's Rachmanas and this Al Kol Ma'asav. But Chazal say Kol Mishay Bodea So L'Rachmel. At a certain point where it's I guess it's something maybe it's like a misuse of your of your feeling, right? Rachmanis is a powerful, important tool that's in our arsenal of midos. So if you just have it too wide and where it's not appropriate, so then it's not good. Okay, yesh ladim. But I want to say now, I think maybe it's like a Schoonmaker heter. It sounds here like this. The person says, like, look, I'm taking this seriously. I want to do cheshbon nefesh. I want to be aware of myself. I can't honestly say I'm doing it as well as I could. Not just, on the nth level. We all know. So where does that put us with the Eibishter? Like, you can't expect any siyat d'shmaya. That's kind of what he says, if you're not doing it. So certainly I can't. He knows 1 billion trillion times better than me. But I think there is room to turn to Kadosh Baruch Hu and say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, give me siyat d'shmaya. And I think that's a holy tefillah. Hashem, I'm trying to do cheshbon nefesh, and I'm putting some effort in. And I'm taking it seriously. I can't say I'm doing it as well as possible. Have rachmanis on me. Eibishter, help me. And save me from the Yetzer Hara anyway, or even so, right? I think that's from other things I've learned. I think that's a worthwhile tefillah. I don't think there's a Kadosh Baruch Hu Shomeh, that's tefillah ani kiyativ. It's dafka very. It says somewhere in Chazal that the tefillah of the ani is the most powerful. The poor man, right now, there's poor man. Someone doesn't have any money. There's poor man who's das. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm poor in das. I'm poor in time management. I'm poor because I'm just working so hard to keep everything together. And of course, can I say that I couldn't put more cheshbon nefesh into my schedule? Of course I could, but still, Kadosh Baruch Hu, have rachmanis on me. Please save me. For sure, that's a chashav tefillah. So of course, we should always follow. The message isn't to make makel. Chas v'shalom. That's not what I'm trying to get to. Let's do like the Mesilas Yesharim. Let's do as much cheshbon nefesh as possible. Let's be as zoyer as we can on our meisim. Think about our mefakech hadrach. Let's remember how bad the Yetzer Hara is, right? But if plan B, if we're not doing it as much as we should, I don't think it's good for us to feel like, okay, no siyat d'shmaya, we're lost. Yetzer Hara, come take me, right? I'm yours. No, there's another approach, a plan B, a lower approach, a low road. This is a high road. Mesilas Yesharim is a high road. The low road is, Rosh Baruch Hu, save me anyway, give me tremendous siyat d'shmaya, help me, etc. And I think that for sure is a tefillah which is very ratzui and very beloved to the Baruch Shalom, and hopefully will be answered. And we should all be zocheh to be zahir and to have siyat d'shmaya and have the necessary siyat d'shmaya.